So today's April 5th, and I am 40 weeks pregnant, and I'm going to show you my belly. I don't know if you can tell. It's kind of dark, but it is a big belly. It definitely goes over my boobs. And honestly, I am a little insecure about how big the belly is because I just feel like I've gained so much weight, I have a big belly, and I know it doesn't mean necessarily a big baby, but I think the bigger the baby is and the longer you go, there's going to be a very, very high risk of the baby not being able to come out vaginally, so you have to do a C-section, and just more health problems if the baby is really big. So right now, COVID-19 is happening, April 5th, 2020, and I'm recording this because I want to keep record of what I've been doing and kind of any symptoms. So I thought I was going to go into labor yesterday just a little bit because for the past few days, I've been feeling like period cramps. And when you're pregnant, you don't really feel period cramps, but towards the end of your pregnancy, you start feeling period cramps. And at night, you're getting Braxton Hicks contractions, which the contractions are frequent for me, but they only last a second. And they're not painful to the point where I can't talk or whatnot. So obviously, it wasn't true labor, but I'm getting impatient because I think first of all, COVID-19, I just want to get the baby out because I think I'm really paranoid about contracting the virus. And once I have the baby here, I don't know, I just feel so much better about, okay, the baby's here, so I don't need to be as paranoid about it. And what else? Yeah, but the last month has been the longest month of my life. I cannot imagine a longer month than this month. I don't know if it's because I am in my last month of pregnancy or because of the quarantine or a combination of both, but I feel like I am literally going crazy all the time. And there's really not much I can do about it. I'm still working and I'm still trying to work and have that like get me distracted, but it's hard. I don't know, like my eyes have just been starting to hurt really bad from staring at the computer or my phone so much, so I'm trying to take time not to spend too much time on my devices, but it has been hard when there's not much other stuff going around. I don't even leave the house to go on a walk because I'm so paranoid of getting COVID-19. So, yeah, I don't go outside. I literally stay in the house. The only time I leave is to go to the hospital and for my checkups. And when I go to the hospital, I have an N95 mask on, a surgical mask, and then I have goggles, and then I put my hair up. And I look like super frumpy. I'm covered head to toe. But I don't care because there's no way in hell I'm going to get this virus. Yeah, so it's been, I don't know, it's been hard, but I think it's hard for everybody. And I'm really, really, really lucky that I don't live in like a tiny micro studio. I think that would be super hard to be quarantined in there. But yeah, it's been difficult. And just this baby, because she is so big, it just hurts. And it just hurts to do anything, and it's just a lot of like, I don't know, just a lot of weight, and it's really hard, the belly on the outside right now, and I'm just really concerned about her being too big. What other stuff? I did a cervical sweep on Wednesday. Today is Sunday, and it did not work. Apparently it works for 50% of people. Didn't work for me. I was barely 1 centimeter dilated, so it's just weird. I'm like afraid I'm not going to dilate, you know? And I'm afraid I'm not going to go into natural labor and I'm going to have to go through a very painful way. And I kind of have a feeling that that might be the way it goes because I just feel like my body does not produce enough oxytocin, or I don't know, I just feel like my body's never chill. So just not going to respond to those signals. I don't know. Maybe it's just me fearing it, but the cervical sweep, was it painful? It was painful, but it was only painful for a second. So I was reading online before I got the cervical sweep done, just like how painful it was, and women were comparing it to being more painful than labor. I can't compare it to being as painful as in labor. I haven't been in labor yet, but yeah, the cervical sweep was it was painful, but it was only lasted for a second, and she did it twice. And I was a very, very tight 1 centimeter, so my cervix is not cooperating either. What else? What else? I don't know, just a lot of, I don't know, I just really want to have the baby, want to meet her, but I'm just so done with being pregnant. It's been a really, really long 10 months. It physically has been the hardest thing I've gone through, but I have been pretty healthy and I haven't really had any major, you know, knock on wood, health issues. So that is that. And in terms of the difficulty of pregnancy, I would say month number 3 and month number 10 are the hardest months of pregnancy. Month number 3 is when the nausea is at an all-time high and you just feel like you're blackout, drunk, hungover every single day, and you're dizzy and you can't do anything. And month 3 is kind of like you're not showing and you're, you know, people don't really know you're pregnant, so that's really hard to deal with and do. And I got migraines every single day during month 3, which is really terrible because you can't take any medicine to get rid of it. And then this last month, I would say it's month 10, right, has been so difficult too because it's just the cramping and the pain and the belly in the way and just everything has been, yeah, just like the anticipation and all of that has been pretty difficult. What else? People have been asking me how has it been being pregnant and a CEO, because you don't really see a lot of women. You know, we don't really see a lot of women CEOs, but much less pregnant ones. It hasn't been that bad. I mean, there have been days definitely that it's been really hard, but I think because I can work from home, that has made it so much easier. If I had to go to an office, if I had to wear, you know, corporate maternity clothes, if I had to travel for work and do all of that, like that would have been really, really difficult. So yeah, so really fortunate for like my job in that I have a lot more flexibility and I can work remotely. And when you're the boss, you can kind of, you know, make flexible or like just make the schedules a little bit more flexible to you. And, you know, if I have a doctor's appointment, it's not like I need to get approval from someone. So that's been really, really helpful. I'm just really excited to meet the baby. I don't know. I'm really worried about not producing oxytocin and not connecting with her. Like there's a fear of me that when she comes out, I'm just going to be like, what is this? And not have any connection. I don't know. I just fear that I'm not going to feel that love that a lot of moms feel. Yeah, I fear that I'm just going to be like, what is this thing, you know? Let's see, what else do I fear or what else I'm worried about? I'm just worried about, you know, the housework and the division of labor in the family. And, it's weird because, like, yes, you can have money and stuff, but money is not going to buy help right now because of this quarantine. So it's just going to be difficult with, you're going to basically have to do the housework plus running the business plus taking care of the baby. And yeah, and I mean, I still want to get back to work as soon as possible. Like, I don't even plan on taking really any time off if it's not necessary because I don't know, it's just like I don't know. I think fundamentally, like, my identity is really involved in my work and my work ethic and my ambition, and so I feel like I would lose a part of myself if that was gone. Um, um, yeah, but I guess I'm just really excited to get back to my routine of, going to workout classes, traveling, having a baby, and having definitely like gonna take her to daycare or having a nanny or some kind of full time or, significant amount of childcare. So being able to do that, um, I don't know, just kind of get back to like usual life. I feel like I've just been stuck for so long. But yeah, but also like your life is never going to be the same afterwards, right? What else? This is honestly just a rant. Not a rant, but just me talking so that way I can look back upon this and remember what it was like. Um, yeah, and I definitely know I'm going to have a lot of judgment from women and moms out there. There's some who are going to criticize me for going back to work so soon or working, and then there's going to be, moms that criticize me for not being domesticated enough or not being super involved, and I just feel like no matter what, you're going to be criticized, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, a single mom, if you're not a mom, like after a certain age, if you don't have kids, people think what's wrong with you. But if you do have kids in the corporate world, people think, how do you do it all? I mean, it's really like difficult, and traditional families and traditional roles are not working for a lot of people. So, um, so yeah, I definitely know there's going to be judgment, and I'm also really afraid of not connecting with mom friends. Like, all of a sudden you become friends with the people who, your kids' parents, your kids' moms and stuff. And I'm actually really worried about that because I feel like I don't fit in with them because I'm like, a businesswoman, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they're not going to accept me, and I also might think of it as a waste of time too, just like all the activities they do and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to be able to like send my kids to all this stuff and activities. I might have a nanny do that, or, someone else do that. So I'm just afraid of that kind of judgment because I'm definitely a type of person. I don't like to do things I don't like to do. Like, I won't just do something because people want me to do them. I'm very, very selfish with my time, and so I feel like, um, and I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of judgment on that. I actually get judgment on that right now. Like, if it doesn't relate to my business or business in general, I don't really do it. I just don't find enjoyment out of things that women my age like to do. Like, I don't like cooking or decorating or stuff like that. Yeah, but I really want to get to just remodeling the house, getting work done, getting a nanny, having just my life back a little bit, and yeah, and being a mom, and I just I can't imagine going through this again because, people have multiple kids. I do want to have 2 kids probably, but it just seems so hard, like getting pregnant again and going through this again. Like, how do women have like 4 kids and do that? Like, how do people do that? It's really, really hard on the body, and I didn't realize how hard it was. The other day my ankle was hurting, and I think my ankle is hurting just because of the amount of weight that was on my ankle, and it's such a dumb reason for it to hurt. Um, yeah, so it's a interesting time to be alive. This pandemic, I don't think anybody would have, thought that this would happen in 2020, and it's happening, and it's changing our lives, and I don't know. So going a little bit off topic, just how I feel about money is so different. I lost a ton of money in the stock market, like just a ton, because I have a lot, basically most of my savings are in there. And to see it all crash and go down, and I basically invested all of it in the very, very high peak. And I know if I hold it long enough that it's going to go back up, but I can't help but think I could have spent that money and put it somewhere else that would have produced a higher interest rate than a negative interest, rate, negative, than occurring a loss, because I currently have a loss in there. I mean, I just feel dumb. Like, I could have even kept it in Wells Fargo accounts, and it would have performed better than putting it in the stock market, So that has also made me just realize, like, what does money mean at the end of the day? And the government is now printing so much money. People are, was it 6 million people? 60? I forget. A lot of people are filing for unemployment. A lot of businesses are applying for loans. It just seems like such a shit show. Nobody knows where to get these loans from. I mean, I don't know, like, how do people pay rent? How do people buy groceries if they live paycheck to paycheck and they don't have money? Like how do they do that? I don't know how it works. Do they just buy it on credit, and then their credit card gives them a grace period? Like what's going on with people and their finances? So basically the value of a dollar is going to be a lot less. So there's going to be a lot of inflation, a lot of printing of money. And it's just crazy because when you care so much about money, you compare, do I buy this $12 thing or do I buy this $15 thing? Is it worth the extra $3? And you do all these comparisons and you do all these negotiations with money. And at the end of the day, what do you really have? Because there's so many circumstances out of your control. And no matter how savvy and smart you try to negotiate, things like this will happen, and it really tells you what's most important, which is never money, family, health, happiness. I mean, I think that's the most important thing in life, because you can work all your life trying to chase money, and shit like this happens that nobody would have ever thought of, so I think that's interesting, and just even like very, 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 very grateful. All of us, my family, we're all in a situation where financially we're not impacted because, our jobs allow us to work from home, and we're in industries that allow us to work from home so far. But what was I going to say? But yeah, I can't imagine people who their whole families have lost their jobs, or they're working at or they're like nurses or doctors or working at a grocery store. Even like it's crazy out there. So this is definitely a moment in history in my life that I will never forget. So I just wanted to record it and say how I truly feel about it.